Greetings everyone and welcome back to Planet Zizzle. I will be your toy commander on today's toy mission. Planet Zizzle! But before we get on to today's toy mission, how about a fun fact about outer space?
Cool.
So we all know that Mars is called the Red Planet. That's because of its color. When you look at it through a telescope or when it's on a clear night sky, it has kind of like an orange hue to it. That's because of the large amounts of iron oxide, also known as rust, here on planet Earth. So that's what gives it that color. All that rocky terrain is covered in like a rust-colored rock. Now, if you've ever been out to like the Midwest of the United States, you get a lot of those red-type rocks out there. But, fun fact, did you know that the Mars sunset is actually blue?
Well, you don't see that every day.
Anyway, on to today's video.
Yeah!
Alright, here we go again, guys, with our
completely gross experiments.
Oh,
now, this chemistry set has a total of 20 experiments inside.
Wow.
And it is a STEM product, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. So we're gonna do some experiments and we're gonna learn some stuff today.
Woohoo, cool.
It's a National Geographic product. Now, a few weeks ago I did another gross experiment kit, but it wasn't the National Geographic's kit. It was a cheap kit. And
what?
The experiments were
failure.
Now this should be a better quality kit, and we're hoping that the experiments will be better quality also.
Yeah!
Alright guys, let's head on over to the experiment lab on Planet Zizzle and start our completely
gross experiments.
Let's go. Alright guys, here we are at the other table with our completely gross chemistry set. Here's a look at the front. Now, on the back, you're going to see this little diagram. It says, this kit includes everything you will need to perform 10 totally gross science experiments, plus there's a bonus guide with 10 additional experiments, which makes 20 in all.
Nice.
So right in the middle, it says, make boiled boogers.
Ew,
That's
disgusting.
Never mind boogers, but boiled ones?
Ew.
Create glowing worms, that sounds cool. Make squishy eyeball. Watch a test tube vomit. Create gross guts and pop some blood cells.
Wait a minute, what?
This sounds weird. And right here are the contents inside this kit. We have red sodium alginate, white sodium alginate, calcium chloride, citric acid, agar powder, sodium bicarbonate, psyllium husk powder, zinc sulfide, renal red, green coloring, yellow coloring, 2 vials, 1 test tube, 1 beaker, 2 pipettes, 1 sticker sheet, 1 brain mold, 1 mushroom mold, 1 paper straw, 2 stir sticks, 2 measuring scoops, 2 experiment cups, 4 reusable bags, 1 experiment bowl, 1 pair of safety goggles, 1 experiment guide, 1 booklet of 10 bonus experiments. So a lot of times on the covers you're going to see all these cool looking pictures, and most of the times it doesn't even look anything like that. So I'd be very surprised if I have a glass filled of eyeballs today, but you never know. We'll see. All right, let's take it out. All right, so let's see what we have. All right, here's the completely gross chemistry set. This is the experiment guide with all the experiments, and then the bonus guide. What do we have here? Super gross experiment labels. Okay. So we have 1 sticker sheet with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 labels on there. Sticker, vial stickers, super gross eyeballs, super gross blood cells, super gross growing worms, and a lot of super gross stuff, but super gross boiled boogers. Do not eat. I repeat, do not eat.
No.
Super gross guts, do not eat. Super gross brain chunks, do not eat. All right, a lot of things not to eat in this kit.
Bingo!
Let's take out all these contents. I do have a mat down because I know doing the goggles. Wait a minute, what? I guess we're gonna get real serious here with this experiment, huh? All right, let's take all this stuff and we'll go over everything. All right, so here are the 2 molds, the brain, and this here is the mushroom. Here's 1 pipette. It's a smaller one. You just squeeze and this extracts liquid. And then we have a bigger one right here, a straw. Looks like a measuring spoon, some, popsicle sticks, another small measuring spoon right here, some little plastic cups here, various sizes. Here's another one right here. So a bunch of different sizes. This here is the white sodium alginate solution.
Really?
This is a test tube. This is the red sodium alginate. And then we have our pH indicator solution, red and green dyes, and all these compounds right here. Zinc sulfide, calcium chloride, psyllium husk powder, baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, agar powder. All right, let's get to our instruction books. Oh, we also have these bags too. All right, let's put this aside. Those are stickers for later. These are the bonus experiments, and these are the ones with the guide. So let's go with the completely gross experiments first. All right, so before we begin, make sure we, put our protective eyewear goggles on. Let's put these right on.
Hey, what's all the hubbub?
All right, let's open up our booklet and see what we have. Over here it says adult supervision is recommended for this experiment. For any of the experiments, conduct experiments like a real scientist. Always wear your goggles. Start each experiment with clean hands and tools.
Bingo!
Measure carefully. All right, these are all things we already know. Keep your materials safe and organized. Sounds good. These are the tools. We already went over that. Let's get to the first page. Boiled boogers. Oh, oh, that's probably one of the grossest things I've ever seen. That's a baby's nose with boogers dripping into the mouth.
Come on!
All right, so the boiled boogers, I think we're gonna skip that one. What do you guys think? Yes.
Yeah!
That's the bursting blood cells. Maybe we'll come back to that one. A jar of creepy eyeballs. This is the one I wanna do. I think this one sounds like it could be fun. And I also want to do, let's see, dissect a brain. That sounds fun. And a vomiting test tube, maybe. Glorious guts, perhaps. Make a gooey glowing worm.
Yippee!
And glowing fungus, I may want to do that one too. So for now, atomic pee.
What?
Let's go ahead and start with the jar of creepy eyeballs. All right. In order to complete my jar of creepy eyeballs, I have all these items from the kit, but what I need to do is get water and red blood cells from the vial, which means I have to make red blood cells first in order to make my jar of creepy eyeballs. So let's go ahead and start this red blood cells. The first step we're going to need is this short cup, and we're going to add 50 milliliters of water. That is 2 of these filled up. This is 25 milliliters, so let's fill this up twice with water. There's 1. Next, we will need to add 1 medium scoop of this calcium chloride into the water. Let's stir until dissolved. Next, we'll need to squirt 10 milliliters of this red sodium alginate. So 10 milliliters right there. It's not that much. And we're going to squirt it right into this beaker. So next we need our pipette, and we're going to take a small amount out of this beaker and drop it into there, and it should solidify, and then you can pick out the pieces and pop these blood cells. Here we go. Let's squeeze and extract some of this sodium alginate, and then we'll just drop some in the water here. All right, let's get some more.
Ew.
It looks like a booger. All right, so those are supposed to be the red blood cells, and let's try to take one out and pop it. Let's see if they pop. Oh, they do actually squirt. Ready to watch this one?
Ew, gross.
All right, so now that we made our red blood cells, let's put them aside because we're gonna need them to make the creepy eyeballs. So for the jar of creepy eyeballs, we're going to need another 50 milliliters of water in the short cup. I will need 1 scoop of calcium chloride and stir until the powder is dissolved. And then over in the second step, we're going to fill the big scoop with the white sodium alginate. Take a red blood cell from the vial and place it on top. All right, another medium scoop. Put it in, start mixing. The next step would be to, right here, fill the scoop with white sodium alginate. That's this stuff right here. Let's do that. Take some out, and then we'll fill this scoop up. And then we're gonna take some of these, you know, red blood cells and use that for an eyeball, I guess. So let's get the little scoop here and see if we can get one. Well, that's kind of a little bit much. Hold on, let me do this. Let me squeeze some of it off. And then we're gonna need to submerge it for 20 seconds in our solution. Well, I don't know, guys. It doesn't really look like an eyeball. What do you think? Let's see. Well, kinda, but let's see if we can pick it up here with the small side. It looks a little bit like an eyeball. See? It's got a little red center, but it's basically like a blob of, I don't know what. Let's squeeze it.
Ew, gross.
All right, so the eyeballs didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to.
Oh, man.
They don't look anything like an eyeball. They look like a glob of, I don't know, slime. All right, why don't we try this one? Glowing fungus.
Awesome!
But here are the steps, and it does take about an hour, so we're gonna need to come back. Let's start with step 1. All right, so the first step, it says 1 medium scoop of zinc sulfide to a dry beaker and let it sit directly in sunlight or under a lamp for 1 to 5 minutes. This will energize the glowing properties of the zinc sulfide. The longer exposed to the light, the longer the brighter it will glow. All right, let's do that first. Here's our medium-sized beaker or bowl. We're gonna take a medium-sized scoop of the zinc sulfide. Ooh, it is kind of like a light green color. Let's give a little bit more. How's that? That's almost a full scoop. All right, so while these particles are charging, I had this extremely bright light sitting on this powder, charging it up, and you can see that it is actually starting to glow. And then we're gonna go to the next step while this is charging. So we need 50 milliliters of water. It says in a bowl. It doesn't say which bowl, but you put out a glass bowl because we do have to microwave it. We don't want to put anything plastic. So there's 50, that's 2 of these, of water. We'll need 1 scoop of the agar-agar powder. All right, here's the big scoop. Let's take out a big scoop. Put it in the water. And then we're also gonna need 2 drops of the green dye. 1, oh, maybe a little bit more than 2 drops, but close enough. All right, let's stir this up. It says to stir it up. So the next couple steps are going to be as follows. We're gonna bring this to the microwave for 60 seconds. Make sure it doesn't bubble. Then once we remove it from the microwave, we have to let it sit for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna add the glowing powder to this mixture, and then we're gonna add it to this mold right here, and it has to sit for 1 hour, and then we're gonna come back and see if it works. Let's go to the microwave. All right, guys, so we're back from the microwave. So we have to let this very hot mixture set for 5 minutes to cool, and then we're gonna add our powder to the mix. All right, so we're gonna take our zinc sulfide that's been charged, and we're gonna add it to the solution and stir it in. This has been cooled for about 4 or 5 minutes. Let's stir this up, and then the next step will be to transport this into the mushroom mold. Let's get this nice and mixed in good. It is a little bit, you know, chunky right now, so let's make sure we get all those pieces mixed in. Let's take our mushroom mold and transport the liquid into that, and then we're gonna put this in the fridge for 1 hour. Our glowing mushroom is solidifying in the fridge. I want to show you guys some of the bonus experiments that you could do at home. You're going to need additional items that are not included with the kit. Grow your gummy bears. Make your drawing float. Power a boat with a soap dish. Scatter pepper with your finger. Bend water. That sounds interesting. Blow up a balloon and tie it off. I don't have a balloon, but I'm interested in this experiment. Let me read it. Rub the balloon on your head until your hair stands up. Okay, that gives it like a static electricity. Turn the tap water just enough to produce a small, steady stream of water. Hold the balloon next to, but not touching the water, and watch what happens. So I guess water will bend. Cool. Make dancing ghosts. Grow a coffee filter garden. Tie-dye a shirt with permanent markers, suspend objects in a glass, fill an upside down glass. So those are some of the additional bonus experiments. All right, while we're waiting for the next experiment, let's try the vomiting test tube. Fill the test tube with 15 milliliters of water and place in the middle of an experiment bowl. So let's take this experiment bowl and we'll fill this with 15 milliliters of water. So I'm not sure if you guys can see, but right there we got it exactly at 15. I'm gonna place it back in here. Our next step would be to add 1 big scoop of baking soda to the water and stir till it dissolves. Baking soda and 1 big scoop. And then we'll stir that up. So in the beaker we have 25 milliliters of water, and then we're gonna need 1 big scoop of citric acid. Next we're gonna need 2 drops of yellow and 1 drop of green. So here we go. Let's do 1 drop of green. 1 and 2 drops of yellow. All right, let's mix that up. Next, we're going to need to add some of these blood cells to the test tube because these are the things we want to vomit up. Let's add a couple more of those in there. All right, here we go. Next step will be to pour the liquid from the beaker into the test tube and enjoy the vomitous reaction. All right, here we go. Let's hope that this works. Oh, it definitely worked. That was cool. Let's see that in slow motion. So if you want to know what just happened with that experiment, why did that happen? When sodium bicarbonate and citric acid dissolve in water and meet up, they create a chemical reaction that forms carbon dioxide gas. The gas bubbles up so much that it spills over the top of the test tube. And then right here it just explains what a chemical reaction is, and on the bottom it says, gross facts. Vomit often takes on the color of food you've just eaten. So you can puke blue if you had blue popsicle, or red if you had cherry pie. Cool. Yellow or green vomit can be caused by the chemicals in your digestive system.
Gross.
All right, guys, we are back from the refrigerator with our glowing fungus, and it looks to be solidified and ready to take out of the mold. And it says right over here, you just need to hold it upside down and push, and it should pop out. Oh, there we go. Pretty cool. Look at this. It actually came out really nice. And now we're gonna go shut the lights out and see if it glows. Here comes the real test. Okay guys, here we are with our glowing mushroom in the laundry room. I'm gonna shut the lights out, and then I have a high-powered light where I'm going to activate the enzymes so it does glow. But let's shut the light out first. Oh, it actually glows pretty good. Let's energize it first, and then, whoa, look at that. That actually is really cool. You can see all the detail of the mushroom and the stem. So you can pick it up, and here's the other side. Now it is a little bit like wet and slippery. Kind of like what a real mushroom would feel like. Pretty cool. And it does recommend after a couple of days, you can throw this in the trash. So cool. Okay guys, we're gonna try one more experiment, and that's right, we're gonna dissect a brain. Oh no! So in this bowl I have my first step, which was 100 milliliters of water. That's 4 of the beakers filled up. We're gonna need 2 scoops of the agar-agar powder. There's 1. 2 scoops of that, and then 3 big scoops of red sodium alginate. 1, 2, 3. Mix this up. All right, so the next step would be to boil this in the microwave again for 60 seconds, let it cool for 5 minutes, and then we'll put it into our brain mold. We are back from the microwave with our solution, and it is hot, so I recommend adult supervision when removing this hot liquid from your microwave. Let it sit for 5 minutes to cool down. According to our instructions over here, after it's cooled, we want to put it into this brain mold, but you can add some white blood cells, some eyeballs, and you can add other things if you want. Now, I don't have any eyeballs or I don't have any white blood cells, but I do have some of the red blood cells, and I'm gonna throw like a little bug in there and some dinosaur bones, and we'll dissect those later. Let's throw that in there, put that in. We'll put some blood cells in on the top. All right, let's pour the liquid solution in there. Let's move around these objects so we can dissect for them later. And then we'll throw some of these blood cells in there too. First, we'll put this in the fridge for an hour. We'll come back and do some dissecting. Okay guys, while the brain is solidifying in the fridge, this is a seriously scientific fact. The average brain of a grown-up weighs about 3 pounds.
Ooh la la.
If you measured out all the brain, blood, and other fluids in your cranium, that is the part of your skull where the brain lives, it would just about fill a 2-liter soda bottle. If you unfold all the ridges and crevices in the human brain, it would be the size of a pillowcase. A gross fact. One brain surgeon describes the consistency of the brain as being like a soft variety of tofu. Let's go check on our brain. All right guys, we are back about an hour later with our last experiment, dissect a brain. As you can see, it's solidified. Hopefully everything comes out okay. So we'll just flip it upside down, give it a couple taps, and see if the brain will come out. It's not coming out as easy as the mushroom. Uh-oh. Oh no!
Oh man!
It doesn't look like a brain, but we can dissect it through this
Disgusting
stuff. We found the bones and the bugs, but not quite a brain. That brain has turned to mush. All right, guys, that's it for today's video with our National Geographic completely gross chemistry set with over 20 total gross experiments. We did our glowing fungus today, mushroom that came out really good. We dissected kind of a brain, a little bit, and we also had some popping blood vessels and a vomiting test tube. The jar of creepy eyeballs didn't come out as planned, but don't forget to share this video with your friends, smash that like button, and come back to Planet Zizzle to keep the missions going. This is your Toy Commander signing off, and I'll see you guys on our next mission. It's now time for me to blast off out of here.